This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 329, Breaking Open, or How to Grow Through Heartbreak, and Progress. It's not just about the numbers, by Neghar Fonooni of negharfonooni.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your very own personal narrator. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Optimal Health Daily. This is one of 5 podcasts where we read to you from blogs for free so that you don't have to read them yourself, except on Fridays. That's where I answer your questions. Now, we are less than 2 weeks away from November. By the looks of my house, that should be very obvious to me because my wife has ensconced us in Halloween decorations, so I know that's coming around soon. And don't forget, because it's almost November, we give away a book to a random person on our mailing list on the first of every month. So if you want to be in the drawing, make sure you're on our mailing list at oldpodcast.com. But for now, let's get right to today's 2 posts as we optimize your life. Breaking Open, or How to Grow Through Heartbreak, by Neghar Fonooni of negharfonooni.com. Breaking open and breaking apart, while they sound similar, are in fact 2 very different responses. You see, the struggles are necessary. The roadblocks, the hurdles, the obstacles. I mean, we do have quite a few words to identify them, don't we? Anyway, these challenges are what make us the multidimensional, fully fleshed out beings that we are. In the gym, at work, in our relationships, we will never be immune to the myriad struggles that will shape our character, nor should we aim to be. We will inevitably fail a lift and have lackluster training days. We'll struggle with our diets and our perception of our bodies. We'll have arguments and breakups. We'll get fired or laid off. We'll have difficult coworkers and moments of imposter syndrome as we chase our dreams. But because we spend so much of our time trying to insulate ourselves from struggle, we often aren't prepared to respond to them when they inevitably find their way through our carefully crafted shields. We can all too easily meet challenges by completely falling apart, and when we do so, we miss out on the opportunity to expand from these struggles. Listen, I've done the breaking apart thing. I'm sure you have too. It looks a lot like self-victimization and a prison of our own design. It looks like blame and shame and resentment. It looks a lot like righteous indignation, like pain with no purpose or end in sight, like an oddly familiar attachment to misery. Breaking open, on the other hand, now that's a different story. It looks a lot like sitting with the rawness of our experience and allowing it to stretch us in various directions. It looks a lot like leaning into uncomfortable emotions, unpacking our patterns, and rewriting our narrative. Breaking open is a potent elixir. It burns and stings and heals. Heartbreak can force us to recognize our default ways of being and ask us to examine if those ways are serving us or stealing from us. If we can learn to break open rather than break apart, to sit with the demons and invite them over for a glass of wine, rather than allow them to dictate over our very existence, we'll find increasing power and freedom through each and every struggle we face. Progress. It's not just about the numbers, by Neghar Fonooni of negharfonooni.com. Progression. 1. Movement forward, especially towards a place or objective. 2. Satisfactory development, growth, or advance. 3. Advance towards completion, maturity, or perfection. In the first year or 2 of training, you'll make amazing gains. I remember a few years ago going from front squatting basically 0 to front squatting 115 and being insanely excited. Fast forward a couple of years and a lot of squats later, and I haven't gotten past 160. I used to beat myself up for it, trying to figure out why I sucked so badly at front squats. I had it programmed in my mind that if I wasn't moving more weight, I wasn't progressing. My training age is so much higher now, which means that gains don't come on rapidly and are harder to see and feel. I might only put 15 pounds on my squat in the course of a year, and that's being generous. But rather than fall into the I'm not making any progress trap, it's crucial that we begin to change our progress paradigm. The thesaurus cites the following words as synonyms for progress: development, advancement, growth, gain, and improvement. If you're training intelligently and consistently, chances are you've experienced these things on some level, even if you haven't put more weight on your squat or deadlift or press, etc. Because here's the thing. Better is not more. Better is better. I got to thinking about this when I realized that although I was squatting 125 pounds 5 times, or 145 pounds 3 times, or 160 pounds 1 time, for example, I was doing it better. I may not have added load, but I added efficiency. Heavy squats felt easier and smoother. Issues with my knees were basically non-existent. Form and technique were sharper. The feeling I had after a set of squats was one of exhilaration, not fatigue. Isn't this progress? Isn't moving the same load more, yet more efficiently, a substantial form of progress and improvement? But if you move a lot of weight extremely sloppily and set a personal record, is it still progress? We can set new personal records with sloppy Turkish get-ups, ugly squats, not so strict overhead presses, and hitching deadlifts. But is this really progress? Is it for the sake of the numbers, rather than the sake of movement? I have found that when I stopped trying so hard to progress, I progressed immensely. True, the only way to get stronger and more powerful is to progressively place a demand on the body. But does that have to mean more or heavier? Not necessarily. Simply moving more efficiently, performing the same lift, but doing so with relative ease, this is progress. I'm still doing get-ups with a 28 kilogram kettlebell, just like I was 5 months ago. But now when I do it, it's smooth, it's solid. I pick it up, and I know that without question, I will complete it without fear of losing it. I'm not in a hurry to move up to the 32 kilogram kettlebell in an effort to set a new personal record. I'm not ready. Should you strive to get stronger, faster, better? Absolutely. But chances are that stressing out about setting personal records is not the most efficient way to get there. Practice, train, groove good movement patterns, and challenge yourself consistently and intelligently. If you do that, progress will become an inevitable outcome. You just listened to the posts titled Breaking Open, or How to Grow Through Heartbreak, and Progress. It's not just about the numbers, by Neghar Fonooni of NegharFonooni.com. One of my students emailed me the other day, and they said they've been tracking their macros. They've been keeping such good track of everything, but now they can't understand why it's not working for them anymore. Why being accountable and logging everything isn't working anymore. And I basically had to tell them what Miss Fonooni said. It's not just about the numbers. I asked, how do you feel about the foods you're eating? How do you feel about your progress so far? How are your clothes fitting? How's your sleep? These are all so important factors to consider instead of just focusing on those numbers. Because this is what life is all about. You want to be able to enjoy the journey along the way. So I had to help the student reframe why they're doing all of this to themselves. They were getting frustrated. They needed to rediscover why this was so important to them. So think, is it really about the numbers for you? Or is it about something much, much more? Now don't forget, we're going to be doing another book giveaway in less than 2 weeks. So if you want to be part of that, plus get some free spreadsheet tools from us and lots more, come by oldpodcast.com and join the weekly newsletter. It's totally free, and it's a great way to show your support. Again, you can join at oldpodcast.com. That wraps up Thursday's episode. Thank you as always for listening. Thank you for being a subscriber to the show. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll see you back here on the Q&A show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this show and Optimal Living Daily, the brother podcast of this one. Literally, I'm Dr. Neil's brother. If you like the format of this show, you'll love Optimal Living Daily too, where I also read to you from blogs, but cover other topics like personal development, finance, and minimalism from bloggers like Derek Sivers, The Minimalists, Zen Habits, and many more. So for more amazing content read to you for free, come subscribe to Optimal Living Daily too, and together we'll optimize your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Health Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.